We follow history because we want to hear great stories from the past that we can learn something from. And in 1990, in a city neighborhood in Chicago, a strange thing was happening. Trucks started arriving and piling more and more concrete, higher and higher. And then a strange man would come in a limo. For the past 3 years, journalist Robin Amer has been reporting on this illegal 6-story construction debris dump that appeared in a predominantly black Chicago neighborhood in the early 1990s. Her new podcast is called The City, from USA Today and Wondery, and it uncovers how Chicago gangsters, the mob, and even the FBI turned out to be involved in all this. And in their sinister actions, they were burying a neighborhood in trash and exposing Chicago's ugliest divide. The program, over the course of 10 episodes, gets into all of this. How the dump changed the neighborhood of North Lawndale, how the residents fought back against everyone, and what the story reveals about how power works in cities across the country. You're about to hear a preview of The City, in which you'll meet host Robin Amer and the Chicago residents who first encountered this dump. And you'll hear things from the other side. You can subscribe to The City for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen, and you can follow The City on Facebook and Twitter at The City Pod. Also be sure to visit thecitypodcast.com and to explore the 1992 North Lawndale and the dumps, an exclusive augmented reality experience. That's cool. Definitely going to check that out.
There's this vacant lot on the west side of Chicago. It's about a half dozen miles from Chicago's downtown, what we call the Loop. And this lot is huge.
This lot looks to me like it's about a full city block. Like it's a big lot.
It's a big lot.
That's Gladys Woodson and Jacqueline Rodney, who live nearby.
And it's pretty overgrown. Like, there's full-size trees, there's like prairie grass. So what did it look like when he was operating?
It was a mess. It was a mess. That's the best I can say for it.
I first started visiting this lot, which is in a neighborhood called North Lawndale, after hearing a story about something that happened here.
At first he had big 18-wheelers lined up. You know, I just thought, well, hey, somebody just parking their trucks in there. To a guy say, Miss Woodson, come down and look at this. Do you know somebody's dumping over in that lot?
I've been reporting in Chicago for more than a decade, and I've reported all kinds of stories about the built environment. About secret tunnels hidden underneath the Loop, and about how you replace a train bridge while the train is still running. I've also reported on housing discrimination and predatory lending. So, stories about all of the remarkable stuff that gets built in Chicago, but also about how it gets built. And about all of the foul and crooked things that people will do when they think nobody's looking. And so the story of what happened on this lot, the story I want to tell you, stunned me despite everything I already knew about Chicago, about how corrupt and ruthless it can be, about how stark the divisions are between black and white, rich and poor, between the people who hoard power and the people who will fight for their fair share.
Anytime you see anybody drive over in a vacant lot in a limo, you know it's no good.
This story is about a giant illegal dump, 6 stories high.
It was huge mountains, concrete, garbage.
Built from the broken pieces of a city in the midst of a so-called renaissance.
I thought that downtown, City Hall, would do right by the people. You know, I didn't think they'd care less about us.
And built not just by dump trucks and bulldozers and construction cranes, but also by corruption, apathy, and greed.
So I said, okay, if a public official came by today and said, you know, I need $500, what would you do? And he reached into his back pocket and he pulled out 5 $100 bills.
The man who built this dump had deep ties to Chicago's criminal underworld.
He looked at the owner of the restaurant. He goes, if you don't pay your milk money, you're going to get a pineapple through the window.
He profited at the neighborhood's expense.
Well, no altar boys at this fucking table. Let's put it on the table here. I made a lot of money over there.
And before he was done, the FBI would be protecting him. I'm Robin Amer, and this is The City, a new podcast from USA Today. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.